been studying English for years and you still feel that you haven't actually learned it. You understand grammar, maybe you have a more or less developed listening skill, but you feel that you're not yet fluent, although you could be. And this is discouraging you or making you think about giving up learning the language. Well, there are reasons for that, but the good part is that there are also solutions, so keep watching. In order to learn a new language, it's crucial that you spend as much time as possible with it. And when I say as much time as possible, I mean including the target language in everything you can during your day. And I mean it. For example, you're going to take a shower or cook something. You can do this while listening to some podcast or to your favorite song. Or you're going to have a chill time. You can watch a movie or whatever in the target language with subtitles. And what I mean with this is that you have to try to reproduce the scenario that you had when you learned your native language. I know that after being a grown-ass adult, it's not that easy, but when you were a little kid, you used to listen a lot to your parents, to your relatives, and you were surrounded by your native language. That's how you learned it. You listened a lot to that, you got a lot of input, and then you were able to speak. What brings me to the second point, that is keep up with the content even after class. But what do you mean, what content? The content that you had in class, the lessons for example, and not in a boring way, but the problem is that there are a lot of English students that think that is enough to just have 1, 2, 3 classes a week. And when you arrive at home, you don't give any attention to the language you're trying to learn. So of course the classes won't be enough, especially if you're studying in a traditional English school. You probably won't be learning that much. So instead of getting at home and throwing your bag and going to do any activity in your native language, do the same activity but in the language you're learning. Keep up with the English that you started in the school. And I'm not saying keep up with the lessons or with the boring things, but keep up with the language. Make this your routine. You like reading English. Change your cell phone, your computer to English. They are small things, but they are going to help you so much. You're not going to learn real English and you're not going to become fluent if you think that just your regular English school classes are enough. And if you think that you don't have to dedicate yourself to the language afterwards, in a clever way, of course. Our minds are constituted by 5% conscious and 95% unconscious. Considering that our unconscious mind is responsible for doing what we learn automatic. And in order to build up this automation for whatever we're learning, we have to repeat it again and again. That's how it works. So once you get your English in this sort of automatic pilot, your conscious mind no longer have to worry about things like how do I form that phrase or which grammar rule do I have to use in this specific sentence. Bringing up the other point, that is stop focusing on grammar. Exactly. By any means, did you start to learn your native language by grammar? Oh, but I was a little kid. That's different. That's not different. And that's the problem of us growing as people, because we want to start learning a new language by the most difficult part, when we really should be worried about listening. And maybe you might be asking, how am I going to understand whatever it is of a new language that I don't know anything about? Well, I say that for that you can use some subtitles and in your own language or in a language that you understand at first. For example, when I started to learn French, I used to watch some things with English subtitles so I would understand something. And as I developed some skills in French, I was able to cut off the English subtitles and start with the French subtitles. And I'm not here saying that grammar is useless, of course not. I'm just saying that you shouldn't start your English learning journey with grammar. But you definitely could consider to study it later on in the process, if that's your wish. And please, if this content is being useful to you, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Another relevant point to consider is do not compare yourself to other people. It has never been healthy and it will never be. Each person has their time to learn the language and that's okay. What is related to the last point, that is, don't be unrealistic. And by that I mean there are some people out there that claim that they've become fluent in English within 1 month, 2 months, and for me they are either genius or most likely liars. Because learning a language takes time, but it won't take that much time if you know what to do, if you know which path you have to follow in order to achieve your goals faster. So if you have been studying English for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and you're not seeing the progress you actually want, there's a problem, and you can change that by changing the methods you're using to learn it and by cutting off the mistakes that you're making right now. So I'm pretty sure that if you apply those tips, you'll be shortening the process. You will be learning more English and adequately in less time. But and you, how long have you been learning English? Leave in the comments down below. Subscribe for more content. Peace.